for Reynolds. Oh, bursting onto it is. He came from the Caxton Street open. The kick, the chaser, Kelly! Game on!
The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello and welcome to TV1 News. I'm Carol Kidu Jr.
And I'm Terry. Join me later on in the bulletin for all the sports.
In this edition, Sir Michael Somare gone but not forgotten, 40 graduate in Guinea Gura program, and Hunters launch 2023 season ahead of trial match. Prime Minister James Marape paid homage to the memory of our country's leading founding father, the great-grand chief, Sir Michael Thomas Somare. Sunday, February 26, 2023 is the second anniversary of Sir Michael's passing, an event that touched men and women, boys and girls, urban residents and rural people just as equally and profoundly through the length and breadth of Papua New Guinea.
On February 26, 2021, the nation's founding father passed on. Prime Minister James Marape, when paying his homage, said that no one single time before or after our independence did one man's death affect Papua New Guineans as overwhelmingly as Sir Michael's. But then he said no man had lived and dedicated his life quite like the way Sir Michael had done to give wings to his vision during a time of many limitations for the unity of 1,000 tribe of peoples into a single nation.
Daibla Somare, 2 years back up long, I think Sunday. This Sunday, me just like encourage my citizens. Lapun Somare, me sleep now, or Pablo Yumi, Mama Limi, or sleep now. No got time, you blame him, not plan, I me cross go come to us. Government staff, me plug a program to help him youths. Second chance education, SME, Miplas Kelim Telimani, Logarap, Low Country. Our citizens must rise up to be lawful and law abiding.
With little Sir Michael and his band of visionaries there to make the dream of a sovereign Papua New Guinea come to reality. He was the architect of our independence who, against prevailing views at the time, saw this possible. The Prime Minister says Sir Michael needed important building blocks to be laid down, which our Constitution speaks of that outcome in very clear terms. He described Sir Michael as a man clearly well ahead of his time.
The greatest cry and talk thank you of Papa Sam Somare will be your respect of rule of law in our country. Me one black call and me important call me like make him the time where you meeting him all Papa is sleep. Especially at the anniversary of the passing of our great-grand chief, the late Sir Michael Thomas Somare.
Sir Michael inspired action and fostered and unearthed the collective spirit of those around him to work hard and with a defined purpose, confronting opposing views and commanded respect because of his wisdom and humility. PM Marape says because of Sir Michael's philosophy of dialogue and consensus, his chiefly name of Sana was befitting as it unified thoughts and ideas and rallied the troops for a common purpose. Freddie Mo, TV1 News.
PNG's last man standing and New Island Governor Sir Julius Chen joins the family of the late Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare and the chorus of voices of Papua New Guineans around the country and world in remembering PNG's founding Prime Minister who passed away 2 years ago on the 26th of February 2021. In honoring the life and times of late Grand Chief Sir Michael Thomas Somare, Sir Julius urged all Papua New Guineans to emulate the same dedication Sir Michael and all other founding fathers had for Papua New Guinea.
In remembering the passing of the founding father of the country, Great Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare, New Ireland Governor and longtime friend Sir Julius Chen wrote, "My dear friend, it has been 2 years now since you left us, but it seems like only yesterday that we bravely decided to take Papua New Guinea through uncharted waters and begin our journey carrying the weight of 1,000 tribes to form a united and independent Papua New Guinea." Sir Julius urged all Papua New Guineans to emulate the same dedication Sir Michael and all other founding fathers had for Papua New Guinea as we honor the life of the great Grand Chief today. Going back 55 years ago, Sir Julius recalled both he and Sir Michael being elected back to the Second House of Assembly in 1968. He remembers following the Third House of Assembly elections in 1972 when they formed government. Sir Michael headed government, became Chief Minister with self-government in 1973, and Sir Julius served as Minister for Internal Finance. Sir Julius said unity is what Sir Michael stood for. He remembers Sir Michael as a very charismatic and open leader, which is why many were easily drawn to him. A natural-born leader who was the chosen one to become our first Chief Minister. If we ever had the opportunity to change the course of history, we wouldn't do it another way, Sir Julius said. He was my captain and I was his chief engineer, and that's why history will always remember us. Sir Julius said Papua New Guinea can never repay the debt we have to Great Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare, urging everyone to play their part in contributing to the development of our great nation. Jemima Sukba, TVWAN News.
Forest Minister Salio Waipo says the people of Angaram and the staff of the National Forest Authority share the grief with the family of the Great Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare on his second-year anniversary. On Friday, 24th February today, the National Forest Authority joined the rest of the country to commemorate and celebrate the life of the Grand Chief.
I want to share or send my condolence to Grand Chief Sir Michael and his family. Lady Veronica is still alive, and on behalf of National Forest Authority and PNG government, Marepe Rosso government, which I'm serving under as a Minister for Forest, we want to pass this condolence on behalf of the department, the managing, and the PNG Forest Authority, and all the staff and their family, to the family of Sir Michael, Beta, Sana, Ata, Dalcy, and Michael Jr. We share this time with you on the second anniversary of your father.
The people and provincial government of West New Britain held a special program today in remembrance of the founding father of Papua New Guinea, late Great Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare. The provincial government and administration senior officers, including Governor Sasindran Mutavel, Acting Provincial Administrator Leo Mapmani, were among the officials who braved the rain to celebrate the life of Sir Michael. Through the Rain, the planned program in commemoration of the late Great-Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare was attended by West New Britain provincial government and administration officers. Among those that attended were PPC Superintendent Peter Baki, PSC Chief Inspector Fred Kawa, Acting CS Goal Commander Chief Inspector Leo Hura, and other important officials and guests. Kimbe Secondary staff and students and Carl Hesse Primary School staff and students were also part of the celebration. Governor Sasindran Mutaville said that as long as Papua New Guinea existed, the name and memory of Sir Michael Somare would never be forgotten. He gave a brief history of the great man's legacy that founded this country and won its independence.
Grand Chief MPA portrayed this humble leadership. A man practicing humility and simplicity. He is easily approachable. He was not once Prime Minister Emino Olsen, founding, not only just a founding father and first Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, who led this nation for independence, but he was Prime Minister for 4 times. As a Prime Minister, he was leading Papua New Guinea.
In commemorating Sir Michael's 2nd anniversary, Governor Mutaville revealed that his wife had taken the initiative to have a monument made in India and sent over in honor of this significant occasion. The monument was the highlight of the commemoration, which contained the sculpture of Sir Michael in front of the provincial government office.
And it's really raining here, and it is a blessing from the Lord and from our Father Somare, and Father of the nation. And we all know his leadership skills. So when Governor told me that he wanted to install the statue of our Father of the nation, then it was too hard for us to how to execute it. Because when I went to India, most of them see the pictures, and 1 or 2 times the statue was not coming very well. And a 3rd or 4th time it was very good. And we planned to install this one last year, but because of the transport necessities, we could able to do it only this year. We just installed it here in the government hall here in West New Britain, because when the students go from here, because every student needs a motivation, guidance and inspiration. So we thought, okay, whenever the students at this point of time, whenever they see the leadership, they can learn the leadership skills from him.
A dedication prayer of the monument was officiated by the Vicar General of Kimbe Catholic Diocese, Father Gabriel Tovo. The program continued with the paying of respects and laying of wreaths. This is TVWAN News. When we return, UOG produced quality teachers and PNGDF Special Forces selection.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
It's that time again! Scale Rise is giving you the chance to win some Scout School money for 2023. Over 220 winners, 4 fortnightly draws, that's 55 fortnightly winners. Cash prizes starting at 1,000 kina, 2,000 kina, 3,000 kina. They also have consolation prizes of 500 kina. Buy any Scale Rise or Ori Rise to enter the promotion for your chance to win the Scout School money. Terms and conditions apply.
Scale Rise, the brain changer.
Open Maps.
right across the nation. We eat snacks crackers. Emi trupla. All get a young planalapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one-time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
Strong like you, smart like me.
I hope they don't break.
Now surely look his son. This is Relaxo. Strong plus shred. Should I try them on you?
No, please. I'll take them.
Relaxo. Very strong, lasts long.
Welcome back. The acting Vice-Chancellor of University of Goroka, Dr. Ten Waninga, says UOG has a very important responsibility, and that is to produce quality teachers so that they can bring quality back into the schools. Dr. Waninga was speaking during the recent Strategic Direction for Reformation of University of Goroka meeting held by the University Council at the Gateway Hotel in Port Moresby recently.
The University of Goroka has decided to reform its programs to revert back to its original purpose of training teachers with the aim of producing quality students.
It started as a primary school teachers college, and then it went up to training diploma teachers in secondary. Now in 1997 it was mandated to become a university. So last year we had 25 years of celebrations of Silver Jubilee, and this is our 26th year as a specialized teacher training university in the country and also in the Pacific.
He explained that there is an expansion plan also into the Pacific countries. In regards to that, last year University of Goroka held the 6th graduation ceremony in Honiara, Solomon Islands, for 38 secondary school teachers and 28 in Port Vila, Vanuatu, with the plan to expand to other Pacific countries as well.
Council has made a decision in December 2021 for a major reform for the university. We were criticized by ministers, by the government, that we were not doing our prime responsibility. We were not performing our role as a mandated teacher training institution in the country. We're trying to divest to other programs.
While he acknowledged the concern from senior ministers of government, Dr. Waninga said the need for other training and programs are still there because we are a developing country.
But our responsibility is to teach quality teachers. And I thank the council for having that vision to inform me and my management team and the staff, academic staff at the University of Goroka to refocus. And that's, in other words, they said, you transform, you reform what we are doing, to think differently and focus on teacher training.
The strategic directions given by the Council, which were delivered by the Chancellor, contained 11 directions, including conducting of academic program audit and reorganization of existing programs, review of all content degree programs, immediate upgrade, reform and building of ICT infrastructure, establishing UOG study centers in 22 provinces, enhancing UOG programs in Solomon Islands, Vanuatu and other Pacific Island countries. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
On Wednesday of this week, Guinea Gura held a graduation ceremony to celebrate 40 participants from Tarama and Pari village who successfully completed the first Community Life Skills program for 2023. Guinea Gura Foundation, which runs this program, has served the communities well, with many having gone on to progress in life. Guinea Gura Foundation celebrated 40 of its students from Pari village and Tarama, who took part in a one-week community life skills program held at the Tutu Beach Retreat in Tarama. Dame Carol Kidu, founder of Guinea Gura, thanked those who testified to this program and the change it has brought on in their lives.
But it can change your life, but you have to be in the right mindset to do it. The VVIPs, the very, very important people, are sitting here in front of all of us. You have made the choice You have made the choice to come to do this. You've made that effort. And I know that in the village, people will say, oh, Takabodavari, time always tia kava. Lateral violence. Did we learn about lateral violence? Yes. So don't listen to that lateral violence. Let's keep moving forward.
In his address, Guinea Gura manager Philip Priestley said that the graduation was a challenge they gave to the participants to go out in the world and make something of themselves with the lessons they have learnt.
Today is us. We're the older generation coming in. Tomorrow is you. All right? What we do with people at graduations is we give them a challenge. You get a piece of paper, which is, when you get that piece of paper, it's not just a piece of paper, it's a key to your future. How you use that key to open doors is up to you. We can only put you on the road to success by what we teach you in such a short time. Let today be the first day of the rest of your life.
Guinea Gura Foundation manager Rabura Aiga was delighted that the foundation for many years since its establishment has been serving communities well, and through its tutored programs, many have gone on to successfully progress in life.
What has been imparted to you in the last week? From the way you have presented your little feedback, I can see that you have absorbed what was taught to you. And but it doesn't stop there. Take it fully, absorb it. Let it never stop.
The lessons taught covered GBV and conflict resolution, sanitation and waste management, climate change, simple bookkeeping and cash book management. Representing the Mosby South office on behalf of local MP Justin Kochenko, who is on duty travel, Anna Skate attended the Guinea Gura graduation ceremony. Skate acknowledged that not many young people have the determination to pursue further education after finishing school. However, she reminded the graduates that there is more to life than what meets the eye and that she is proud of those who have taken this step to secure their future. She also mentioned that Guinea Gura has pathways that graduates could take up apart from what they have learned. She emphasized the importance of changing mindsets to secure a better future for Motokoi Tabuans. She stated that Motokoi Tabuans are often perceived as lazy and the community needs to change that perception.
Us now, but it's the generation after us, our children and those that will change the mindsets of what we perceive Motokoi to be now. And being in the office in Mosby South now, I have the hard task of trying to change mindsets so that Motokoi Tabuans can help themselves. Motokoi Tabuans are perceived as lazy, perceived as so you have to, things, and we want to change that now. What we should be doing lately. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be blunt. So in this case, it makes me very, very proud that at least you are doing something to better yourself.
The Department of Works and Highways Development partner Japanese International Cooperation Agency, or JICA, under its Capacity Development Road Maintenance Program, has commenced its pilot project in Kokopo Bitapaka Road in East New Britain Province.
Under the rollout of the CDRM program phase 2, the provinces that will be participating is East New Britain, Medang, Vanimo and Kiunga in Western Province. Due to COVID-19, work was on hold but has commenced now in the provinces. JICA is currently conducting training for civil staff, operators and mechanics of the Department of Works and Highways in Kokopo. The 2 weeks training from February 14 to March 3, 2023 covered necessary practical skills such as surveying to guide construction manner based on preliminary road design and quantity estimation. The training comes as part of the partnership between the PNG government and JICA under the CDRM Phase 2 program rollout. Provincial Works Manager for East New Britain, Amos Fimimba, says this training will help them to fully utilize their equipment to construct better quality roads. The pilot project site is going for test construction, but due to the delay in budget allocation, ongoing maintenance work has not been completed. The CDRM2 expert team strongly believe that the counterpart funding from the government, when released, will greatly help to utilizing the donated construction equipment as well as continuous staffing as agreed in the Joint Coordination Committee meeting of CDRM2 last September 2022. The next province the CDRM program will roll out is Medang, then Western in Kiunga, and last will be Vanimo in Sandaun Province. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
An intensive one-day pre-selection assessment program for the PNG Defence Forces Long-Range Reconnaissance Unit was conducted earlier this week. 30 active duty personnel from the Defence Forces Port Moresby-based units took part.
On Tuesday, February 21st, 30 active duty personnel from the Papua New Guinea Defence Forces Port Moresby-based units of the 1st Royal Pacific Islands Regiment at Taurama, Murray Barracks, Goldie River Training Depot, and the Basilisk Naval Base participated in the one-day pre-selection assessment program for the Defence Forces Long-Range Reconnaissance Unit, more commonly known as the LRRU. The selection exercise took place at the 1R PIR Taurama Barracks. The one-day pre-selection assessment program had the participants do physical training of push-ups, sit-ups, and chin-ups with only 2 minutes to complete each exercise, followed by 3 endurance tests.
Good, Laiva. Good.
A similar exercise has already been conducted for PNGDF personnel of the 2nd Battalion Royal Pacific Island Regiment at Moam Barracks in Wewak and Igam Barracks in Lae. The LRRU officer in command, whose identity is withheld upon request, says those who pass the one-day selection program will qualify for a 10-day training program in April. The LRRU OC says not only is the unit looking for members who are physically fit, but also possess attributes of discipline, proper attitude, and sound character. The last one-day selection exercise was held 2 years ago. The main reason for the recent exercise is to bump up the current number of members in the LRRU unit, which currently stands at 65. Maricela Kelaton, TV1 News.
AHI Investment recently donated 2 desktops to the Lae Metropolitan Command. The donations were presented by the Chief Operating Officer for AHI Investment Group, Troy Dean, who alluded to the group's perception that supporting police will make the community safer, which is a win-win for everyone. Also present was Lae City Authority Board Johnny Ross, who stressed on the importance of involving citizens when it comes to law and order in the city.
More especially, and with AHI, I would say we will continue to support our police in Lae with everything we can do with it. I really appreciate the time that I was CEO and with our bosses here in Lae. There's nothing I should say, but we will continue to work hand in hand for a better Lae.
I'm ready because when we started with the ELC service program, they have done a very tremendous job. Making the bus stops, especially in market and town, very safe. They have done a very tremendous job. But we have problems with submitting reports, and especially when they make arrests, we have issues with computers, and we come on more timely, so that will go a very long way, and that will, their contribution will not only help us, but it will help the community, make the community much more safer than it used to be in back then. Back to this equipment, that will definitely help us significantly going forward. Thank you very much, Troy, and
You're watching TV1 News. When we return, we'll have news from overseas.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people. When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want flame rice. New flame rice. Win him, Olgeta.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager. Bungum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like you more.
Strong like you, smart like me. I hope they don't break. Now Choli Lucky-san, this is Relaxo. Strong plus shred. Should I try them on you?
No, please. I'll take them.
Relaxo. Very strong, lasts long.
They go to the edge and it's just going to be too easy for Solo Warrior to score the first try for this afternoon. Short ball, straight and flat, and under the post again go the SPP Hunters. They go out right, I think the Robertson try score an easy ball inside.
I want you to win somebody's heart. That's Naren.
I never asked for your help with anything, Dad. Don't impose your expectations.
I'm going to be the one who makes the final decision here.
Welcome back. South Australia's severe heat wave is set to culminate in a difficult day for firefighters, with very hot, dry and windy conditions raising fire danger around the state. But there's good news too. Relief is in sight for South Australians who've been struggling through a stifling week.
On most summer days, finding a spot on the beach can be a challenge, but less so in a South Australian heat wave.
Well, I'm surprised there aren't many people here. You know, it's...
They're probably working.
Yes, darling.
Not all beachgoers would be deterred.
We come from Brazil, so we prefer, I think, summer hot weather than the winter. And he loves the beach.
The seas are welcome relief from the heat wave, with temperatures topping 40 degrees. While in the Riverland, the pool was the place to be. The Weather Bureau says despite SA's wet spring, the conditions in the last couple of months have rapidly dried out, making the ground extremely vulnerable to bushfires.
It's important that the community recognise we're doing our bit in terms of ensuring the safety of South Australians. What we're asking the community to do is be prepared.
The CFS says extra resources are on standby if a fire breaks out, including a large air tanker. And there are total fire bans and extreme fire danger in several districts on Friday.
We've got 2 additional bombers within our fleet, and that's a really important component to make sure that we've got our aerial support to support our ground crews.
There is a change on the way.
Across western parts of the state, they'll see some relief from as early as tomorrow morning, Friday morning. But for Adelaide, we're looking at that late afternoon into the early evening, and then that change will continue to move inland.
Welcome news for most, while others say they don't mind the heat.
And if you don't have a couple of days like this, you feel you haven't had a summer?
It will be autumn soon enough.
Victorian firefighters are continuing to battle a blaze at Flowerdale, north of Melbourne, with strong winds expected this afternoon.
The fire in Flowerdale is still burning out of control. That's about an hour's drive north of Melbourne. And so far it's burnt through almost 1,000 hectares of grassland. It was started on Tuesday at Spring Valley Road and then very quickly raced away in hilly terrain in grassland and forests as well. Now, overnight, fire crews have been able to capitalise on slightly milder conditions to build some of those containment lines around the blaze. However, they are concerned about really windy conditions, and there's also the low intensity heat wave conditions, which will always as well put those containment lines to the test. So the Watch and Act alert remains for Flowerdale and nearby Strath Creek as well. And this fire started when 71-year-old landowner Bill Sangster was using his angle grinder to fix a fence on his Flowerdale property. He says that some of the sparks caught alight with some of that grassland nearby, and it very quickly raced away from him. This is what he had to say.
So I was really concerned. I'm like, oh, I take full responsibility of what happened. It was a bloody accident, you know, an accident. And, you know, I felt really bad, and there's the police and the CFA wanted to stop me from fixing the pump so I could give it to Joel to protect his property.
So Bill Sangster there saying as well that when he used his angle grinder, it was not a total fire ban day, and he also did everything that he could to put out that fire as quickly as possible using fire extinguishers, but it just raced away too quickly for him, and he contacted his wife to call up the CFA and alert them before heading up to try and protect his own home as well from those flames. Now, in the meantime, we've also seen another fire west of Melbourne in Buanga. That thankfully has been contained late last night, so that Watch and Act alert has been downgraded to an advice message. However, the Weather Bureau is saying that with these low intensity heat wave conditions, the threat of fire is still very high, and so they are putting out that call to all landowners. In the Victorian regions, we're expecting to see some areas of the Mallee and Wimmera, for example, to crack into the 40s, and Melbourne is expecting another hot day, a top of 33.
Feral pigs have been running amok through the small Northern Territory town of Adelaide River. Their destructive behaviour was responsible for the cancellation of the town's popular races last year. And with the pigs still at large, locals are worried the problems will continue.
Feral pigs are slowly taking over this top-end town, one lawn at a time. Jackie Rickson's garden has been mangled by the pests. They used to stay at the back of her property, but they've started to move closer to home.
We came back from our holidays and we had 15 crossing the driveway, so they've already hit our ground.
They come every second night, tearing up her lawn. It's a problem that seems to have grown worse over recent years.
This year's probably been more so than any other year that we've had. We've had them right up to our house yard, right up to our gates at the shed.
The pigs have threatened the historic war cemetery and ruined the showgrounds, forcing the town to cancel the beloved Adelaide River races last year.
It's always disappointing for community to lose out on a major event like the annual races.
The race meeting is what keeps us alive down there, regardless, and it's the only grass track in the territory, so it is pretty special.
Fencing has been built inside the showgrounds around the racecourse to help keep the pigs at bay. And with the races being Adelaide River's biggest fundraising event of the year, the community are relying on the fences to work so the event can go ahead as planned. Back in town, there's not much that Adelaide River residents feel they can do.
By the time you get your gun out and your spotties and everything, they're gone. And they don't wait for you, they're gone. And they'll run down the fence line, cross the paddock back into the river where you can't get them.
More fencing, hiding baits and shooting the pigs are all solutions that have been floated, but some feel it won't make a difference.
They'll just keep breeding and keep coming back, bigger and better.
A town that's stuck in the mud with no clear way out.
Long-awaited funding for basic flood mitigation works in the northern rivers has been confirmed by the federal government. A series of the projects recommended by the CSIRO are the first to be funded in a $150 million commitment to a region still recovering from last year's disaster.
At the height of repeated flooding disasters, Lismore's river pumps have failed to keep water out of the city. They'll finally be fixed and are among 16 flood mitigation projects deemed ready to go.
We're talking about pump upgrades, evacuation route assessments, we're talking about community resilience activities, road raising, all the kinds of things that should help to protect people much more than they were the last time these floods hit.
They were among 300 proposals considered by the CSIRO.
They stacked up at the best.
At the epicentre of the disaster, Lismore's mayor has called for patience.
We can't expect that we can announce today that we're going to drop 3 metres off our river height. Like, that's just not reality, but this is a great announcement.
Separately, the CSIRO is weighing up the merits of longer-term projects to protect the city, including water storage dams in the upper catchment.
It is one of the most complex catchments, but CSIRO is confident we have the capability and we will deliver it by end of next year.
Another option is strategic tree planting to ease the flow of floodwaters. Locals say an overall vision for the region is still missing.
Everyone who wants to move forward, who wants to make a decision about their business or their housing situation, needs to know what is the plan for the future for this region.
Long-term locals love this area, but are determined not to be as vulnerable as they were this time last year.
Members of the Ukrainian community in Australia are holding a protest outside the Russian embassy in Canberra.
There's been demonstrations here outside of the Russian embassy in the city south since just about day one of the invasion of Ukraine, and they've continued almost every day since, sometimes down to just 1 or 2 people, and other days like behind me where there are dozens of people here showing their support for Ukraine and condemning Russia's actions, as well as calling on the public to donate to humanitarian organisations.
I came in Ukraine, my heritage is Ukraine, but apart from that I'm just appalled that any country would invade a sovereign land and cause potentially a third world war just for a man's ambitions. And I think it's, apart from that, it's about freedom, democracy and sovereignty for all countries and the right to determine for themselves.
Slava Ukraini. Dozens of protesters have gathered here in Canberra today as part of a weekend of demonstrations around Australia and indeed around the globe, backed by the Ukrainian Australian community, but also members of the Russian Australian community who are opposed to Vladimir Putin's regime. And many of the protesters who are present here today have vowed to continue their protests until Russia withdraws its forces from Ukraine.
And here's a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. At home, the PNG National Weather Service has issued a renewed strong wind warning for all coastal waters of Hood Point to Suau Island, including Vitias Dampier Straits to Siasi and Long Islands, as well as southern sector at Bismarck Sea. The Weather Service says strong northwest winds of 20 to 33 knots are expected to continue over the next 24 hours, causing rough seas. All small crafts and boats are advised to take necessary precautions before going out to sea. We'll take a break. When we return, Terry will join you.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SP Lager. Bungum Yumi. Cheers to 70 years.
Leopards, bison, cheetahs, and more.
Ideally, all of these animals roaming freely would paint a beautiful picture. However, human progress won't allow that. The next best thing is to give them value.
Join Dan Cabela as he sets out on an international journey of discovery within the world of conservation.
There is no one-size-fits-all solution, and science is the best hope to find answers for their survival.
Hard Truths of Conservation, coming soon on Outdoor.
I'm the big bad wolf, and this is the crew. We may be bad, but we're so good at it.
I just tried to steal an old lady's purse.
Oh!
I kind of helped her.
You're such a good boy.
It felt good. Did you get hit on the head?
Maybe being good isn't so bad. Let's try it. Lesson 1, sharing.
Pop me, please.
Nope. Sucker.
The Bad Guys premieres Saturday, February 25th, 9 p.m. on HBO.
Hi, I'm Anthony Ando. Coming soon on TVWAN is The River of Worship. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. Join me every Sunday in His presence right here on TVWAN.
And thanks for staying with us. In sports, the PNG Hunters are set for the 2023 Host Plus Cup season after their season launched last night at the Santos National Football Stadium. The event took place in front of all corporate sponsors, including naming rights sponsor SP Brewery and other major partners, including the media.
It's a long time between drinks for the Hunters players, coaching staff and management to mingle and embrace with representatives from the various major corporate sponsors, partners, the media and friends. After a 2-year hiatus since the Hunters had their last season launch in 2020 pre-COVID, it was an evening out for the rugby league family to come together and reaffirm their support and rally behind the team once more as they launched their campaign for the 2023 Host Plus Cup season. PNG Hunters CEO Scott Barker officiated on behalf of the Hunters Board Chairman Stan Joyce and Hunters coach Stanley Tepend. Barker acknowledged and thanked the sponsors and partners for their undivided support and commitment to the Hunters, especially before, during and after the pandemic crisis.
Probably most importantly, as Taz mentioned, the sacrifices were made over the last 2 years by everyone to keep the Hunters in the competition. That came down to our corporate partners. They gave a lot with very little in return. I'm stoked to be back home for so many reasons, but basically to be able to give back to all those that gave us the opportunity to keep the Hunters going. Without our corporate partners' generous support, we do not compete at all in the Host Plus Cup, let alone survive those last 2 years based in Australia. This year marks our 10-year anniversary in the Queensland Cup competition. To honour this milestone, we've worked with our apparel supplier, Zabara Clothing, to come up with a unique jersey design that encapsulates and respects all those that have come before us.
Barker also took time to remind everybody of how long the Hunters have come since 2014. He said this year marks the Hunters' 10th year anniversary in the Queensland Cup competition. To honour this milestone event, the Hunters have also launched a new jersey design that encapsulates and respects those 111 players that have come before us and have donned the Hunters jumper with pride since Game 1 on March 2014.
Printed into the jersey with the ZBR designers is all 111 Hunters players that have come before us. So this year, when teams face us, they'll not only be facing 13 Hunters on the field, they'll be taking on all 111 Hunters that have worn the jersey proudly before us. They'll be on both the home jersey and our away jersey.
Also last night, Foundation naming rights sponsor SP Brewery announced and recommitted for the next 5 years.
It gives me great pleasure to announce that our Foundation naming rights partner, SP Brewery, have recommitted to the Hunters for a further 5 years.
SP PNG Hunters Foundation naming rights sponsor SP Brewery is committed to the Hunters for another 5 years. This important announcement was made by PNG Hunters CEO Scott Barker during last night's Hunters season launch at the Santos National Football Stadium. Barker, again on behalf of Hunters board, thanked SP Brewery for partnering with the Hunters for the further 5 years. When reaffirming SP's commitment, SP Brewery Managing Director Ed Wigeman announced that the new sponsorship deal is for 5 years. It ends in 2027. The stage is set for Saturday's Host Plus Cup trial match between the PNG Hunters and Queensland Capras at the Santos National Football Stadium in Port Moresby. The match is set for 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Is expected to bring back some hype and interest for the local rugby league populace after the Hunters return from Australia at the end of 2022 season.
Although it's just a warm-up match, the build-up to tomorrow's much-anticipated clash between the Hunters and Capras is expected to draw a good number, with some interest on Capras, knowing they have a strong PNG presence in their lineup. Nixon Put, Zev John, Samuel Yagip and Bob Tanza have been named in the Capras team to take on fellow Papua New Guinea Wantoks in an intriguing fixture that is sure to put on a tag on the game as a must-watch game. The Hunters' pack, in the meantime, has been boosted with the return of Dolphins trio Roderick Tai, Shevin Tanabe and Judah Rimbu, who are expected to use their form and experience to get the team forward. The match will be played in quarters with unlimited interchange rule. Hunters coach Stanley Teppan is contemplating on giving all 25 players a run tomorrow. As part of their build-up to this weekend's trial, they had a number of opposed sessions, including a full-body contact tri-series against the Vipers and ISO last weekend. Assistant coach Paul Ayton said the boys have put in a hard work over the past 10 weeks and excited to see how the PNG boys go up against their own countrymen.
We're keeping them in mind. We know they're coming. We're not really too concerned at this stage. We're more worried about making sure that our boys are up to speed and we know who's in what position and who's going to do the best for the team. We'll have an extended squad. I think not 17 or 18. We'll have a few extras too. 20. Yeah, because we have 4 20-minute quarters, so and we can have as many changes as we want. So it'll be good to see, especially against a high-quality team. I mean, they just played the Dolphins, so they're a pretty good quality team there.
The start to the JT Super Nines tournament has been postponed due to the safety of the field and player welfare. The field is inundated with rain. The tournament is now confirmed for February 28 to March 5. Tournament director Bagala Solian said the heavy downpour flooded the entire field of play with debris, drain and hillside early this week.
Floodwater and debris from heavy rains have littered the Moresby South Stadium, hence the JT Super 9's tournament had been postponed for player safety and welfare. The unusual weather pattern prevented the games from starting this week. The cloud cover over Moresby South Stadium prevented the field from drying up completely, as it is still too wet and soft. Tournament director Bagalo Solian said the tournament is now rescheduled for February 28 to March 5. The senior women's and the under-20 matches are also deferred to next week. Solian said the draws remain the same as of round 1 and urged all teams to be early for their respective games. He also explained that they cannot stage the tournament this weekend due to public holiday in respect of the Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare. As per initial plan, the tournament will start with under-20 and open women games next week, followed by the open men matches.
Inter Rapidissimo has expanded its partnership with FIFA by signing a new agreement to become another official sponsor of this year's FIFA Women's World Cup Australia and New Zealand 2023 tournament. The package freight courier services provider is the first Colombian company to be an official regional supporter of the FIFA World Cup.
Last year, Inter Rapidissimo became the first Colombian company to be named official regional supporter of the FIFA World Cup and will now extend this cooperation to the elite women's tournament. Celebrating 35 years of business this year, the company will benefit from stadium perimeter advertising as well as the use of official archive content and designations during the FIFA Women's World Cup Australia and New Zealand 2023 tournament. The organization is already active in supporting women's football in Colombia, frequently working with national team stars Linda Caicedo, Lady Andrade, and Tatiana Ariza-Days, among other national and international figures. In regards to the deal, Luis Rodriguez, FIFA's head of association sales, says this year they welcomed Inter Rapidissimo to the FIFA family and they are delighted to extend the association until the Women's World Cup of FIFA in Australia and New Zealand. Colombia has qualified for the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023 after reaching the final of last year's Copa America Femenina and has been drawn in Group H with Germany, Morocco and Korea Republic. Jemima Sugbat, TV1 Sports.
For many Australians, sport is more than a game. A passion for athletics has turned into an opportunity of a lifetime for one young Gold Coast boy. The entire community is helping him get through.
When 10-year-old Huddy Glubb isn't singing, he's racing. For the past 2 years, he's been training in little athletics.
Javelin, shot put, discus and running.
Now he's qualified for the World Dwarf Games in Germany this July.
It's like the Olympics, but for achondroplasia people.
For his family, it's a massive achievement.
Pretty much when he was born, we were told that he probably wouldn't be able to participate in any sport.
The Gold Coast schoolboy has already competed at regionals and represented Queensland at national school athletics.
The day that he got his first gold medal, that was just, there were so many tears.
But it's about more than winning medals.
Athletics in particular is a really good sport because you're competing against yourself. That's how we explain it to Huddy.
The local community is rallying behind the family, raising money through raffles and fitness challenges to get the team to Germany.
Hi, my name's Hudson. This is my best friend Ruby. He always is able to put a smile on everyone's face.
And he is very funny and fun to play with.
My friends, they are going to donate to him when they earn some pocket money.
The trip of a lifetime is within reach.
Hold on!
thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
And that's all the sports for now. Carol.
Thanks, Terry. Before we go, remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you're feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Bye.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.